just to wrap up this whole topic of sleep, is that it's not all about the autonomic nervous system, and it's not all about, because there are some people who get help who have trouble sleeping, but it's not about worry, like Mary. And I just wanted to share one other case, a woman named Debbie, who's 61 when she first got the machine, and she'd had insomnia literally her whole life. And it wasn't around worry and stress. I mean, she had insomnia when she was a kid, and she was so sleep deprived by the time she was 60 and through college and everything, that she would sometimes only get 3-4 hours of sleep a night, and that would accumulate until finally she would be able to crash, but she'd only sleep for 4 hours and then be wide awake again. And it brought a lot of stress. She would get angry in the middle of the night. She's tried everything. She would try all these kind of relaxation techniques before going to bed. She could be totally calm, Epsom salt bathed out, yoga, everything, and nothing would happen. And she tried the IMRS 3 times a week. She was driving down here to Healthy Spaces for pain, and it did help her back pain. But then she started to realize, oh, wait a minute, on the nights that I come down and do the MRS, I sleep. And she'd kind of given up on the whole sleep thing, so it took her a while to actually realize, wait a minute, I was having these nights of sleep, and she went back and looked in her journal, and oh yeah, it was corresponding to when she got the PEMF treatment. So she got a machine, took it home, and consistently every night now she can fall asleep and sleep through the night as long as she's on the mat before she goes to bed. And I think she does it twice a day. And if she misses a day, then she goes back to not sleeping. So it's not necessarily curing her problem, but she doesn't care at this point, right? She's for the first time sleeping.
This is the only book of its kind in the United States by Dr. Joel Carmichael. And it's not an easy book to find. It's not on Amazon. It's only available through Dr. Carmichael, who self-publishes.
Now, I've started with Parkinson's. Last June, I found out I had beginning of Parkinson's disease. What happens was I had an essential tremor in my right hand. And I used to get this whenever I was nervous or when I was stressed. My hand would tremble very much. And I am a member of Kaiser Permanente, went to Kaiser to a neurologist. She gave me an hour of test and said I had the beginnings of Parkinson's. I went last Tuesday for my next visit, which was preparing for this week, but I really didn't know. She had given me all these tests. The lip tremor went away. The leg tremor that she found went away. I don't have that anymore. And the right arm tremor is still there, but not as much. Now, after talking to Hermina here, I bought one of these machines, took it. It was sent from Florida, started it, and have never been off it since November 10th. And what I find, and I saw Beth the other day, and I said, Beth, be disciplined. If you're going to do this, discipline yourself to do it. Because I've been emailing from certain people that Diane has said that are doubters or it didn't work or whatever. And it's because people hit and miss on the machine. Every morning I get up and I go and I lay on the mat for 8 minutes at 100 intensity. And I'm really jazzed in the morning because it creates energy and I feel much better. I used to, and I work from my home, take a nap every day. I don't take a nap at all now. And I find that's really interesting because it's not that I said to myself, you don't, because I always call it a power nap. It's a power nap, see. But I don't do that anymore. I don't need to. I find it's quite interesting. So after lunch, I'm on it for 16 minutes at 50. Then I use the pillow anytime during the day at 8 minutes at my neck. Usually it's right in the back of the neck at 50. And then when I go, just before I go to the bed, I do it 16 at 10 intensity. I'm very proactive in my life, and I'm trying to defeat Parkinson's any way I can do that. And I'm finding with this system, it's really working. And the doctor, and this is a Kaiser doctor, which they're very proactive, but she's very doubtful. And she said, what is this system? So I shared with her. Half the visit this time was talking about the system. So she finally said, give me the email and the website. I want to find out about this. So maybe in your field, doctors need to be convinced, especially the old traditional doctors, about how this really works. And it's really working for me. It's comfortably. So I have a friend who's a great carver, and sisters came and visited me last month, and he had just began stem cell therapy for a knee that has cartilage on bone. So he has just horrible pain, could hardly walk. So I take the probe, put it at 400 for 16, 3 sessions in about 16 hours, and all the pain went away. And he says, this is a miracle. Well, you people that use them for pain know that it is a kind of a miracle. Now, I don't understand how it works. I've been trying to read Carmichael's books. Now, Carmichael's book is great because it focuses in and gives you an intensity to use. But the manual is good, too, because it takes Parkinson's and breaks it down from full Parkinson's, like we were sharing, a person that Mike was sharing today, a person that can't talk and can hardly move and has been in hospice for a year of Parkinson. I thought, geez, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be a part of that. So Mike, it gave me a more incentive today because I'm saying, wow, this is really a serious deal here. So I'm learning about Parkinson's. And when you have a disease, like when I never had Parkinson, I knew nothing about it. And I really, it didn't interest me at all. Now that I have it, it really interests me. So I think that's kind of a natural situation. I can tell you how I'm sleeping better, I have more energy, I'm more intelligent. I feel my brain is more intelligent. Now, prove it on any kind of test, I can't do that. But I do know, I do volleyball every Saturday and Sunday to teenage girls. And last Sunday, my lesson, I took my right arm, which has the tremor, and I hit 300 balls like this and had no tremor for 24 hours. Amazing. And before I was just, like this. And the kids that I have are they'd say, Fred, your arm's shaking. Oh, then, and I can't hit the ball with my left hand because I'm right-handed. So I'm constantly was adjusting my body to overcome the Parkinson's. Now I'm realizing with this, I can overcome it in a different way.
I've had a traumatic brain injury since I was 2.5 years old. And I was depressed all the time from that. I had difficulty smiling. I had difficulty interacting with people. I had a whole lot of other issues that have nothing to do with the IMRS machine, and I have dealt with them in my own type of healing. But the IMRS machine, we put the carotid artery 4 minutes on this side, 4 minutes on this side. Okay, the depression left forever, like gone completely.
My name is Dolores Maggiore. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. So most of what I'm talking about is mental health in my clients and in myself and my family. Diane said prepare a statement. So as far as my personal use or my family's use, in general, we've noticed improved sleep patterns, less irritability, greater vitality, and for me, rapid relief of back and sciatica pain. Concerning my psychotherapy clients, one client who is very anxious, obsessive compulsive, basically says, I'm so relaxed and I can focus on one thought at a time and shut it off if I want at will. And that's really important for her. Again, she said in another session, I was so tired, but I'm really relaxed now, and I'll probably be real focused and motivated and productive when I get home, like the last time I used it. Another client who also is extremely anxious, suffers from PTSD, says, what has helped me and my partner come to a greater level of tenderness, more patience and comfort and relief in one another, my alarm system, my reactivity completely shuts off because of the balancing of the autonomic nervous system.
I've been involved with and practicing alternative medicine for probably close to 40 years now. I met Diane, 5 or 6 years ago when she was just up the street here. And she's quite an innovator. She's dynamic, she's intelligent, she's creative, she's really driven by her passion to make a difference. So I tend to listen a bit more to her than I might to somebody I was not as experienced with. And she told me about the IMRS, increased sleep, as you mentioned, more stamina, less fogginess in my thinking. It's reduced a minor neuropathy in both my hands and my feet, but quite noticeably. I've introduced it to 6 other people. They've all had very amazing results with it. I'm very interested in seeing what the longer term effects are. As Dr. Oz says, they're the new form of medical science. That's where we will more and more go to. And I'm very encouraged with the friends who've been able to reduce, and in consultation with their medical doctor, have been able to reduce medications, where the old amount that they had to take every day is gradually they've had to reduce it because they began to get effects from the medication that weren't there before. You have to use it. It's really important. If you're going to use it, if you're going to make a piece of equipment, if you're going to give it a fair trial, you have to use it and use it every day. I find a difference whenever I use it once as opposed to twice. I find it marginally different if I use it 3 times. I find it different if I use the mat at least once a day. And I find I use the pillow for specifics. You know, if I've got a knee that has been bothering me for 10 years, and if I use it on the knee, it doesn't bother me. I put the probe behind my knee. I can read, I can write, I can do a lot of other activities, and it's handled. I hear the thing go off and I put it away. So it's extraordinarily easy to use, and I believe, again, extremely effective. That's been my experience.
My name's Claire Meldy. I'm a body worker. And so first I had a fall just to test it out, make sure how it worked. And it was just amazing. And so I was sharing with people about it. So then I did another one just to make sure. So I can tell you that for acute injuries, it was fantastic. I do deep tissue body work, and so I started on experimenting first on my sister, and her leg was so tight and a big tight muscle, and used the pillow on it for 5 to 8 minutes. Totally went away. I mean, like no pain, no tightness. We both kind of go, oh, wow. Anyway, and it stayed gone. And so I've been using it in my practice on different people, and some people go, oh, do it here, oh, there. And then I use the probe like on the really sore muscles underneath the arm, so I just stick that on while I'm working on another part of the body and such. So I could go on and on and on and on.
I was having a lot of muscle cramps every night. Sometimes I'd wake up 2 or 3 times a night with muscles cramping. And the first night after I got on the machine, that was the end of all the cramps. And when I went out of town, I didn't take my pillow with me, and I got cramps that night. And so from then on, the pillow goes wherever I go. So it completely eliminates muscle cramps. And I recently had another one where I did an extensive workout, and I stretched my muscle in my chest. And I did that in the early morning, but I didn't feel any pain until about 4 o'clock. And it started getting worse and worse. About 8 o'clock, I couldn't breathe. It was like I'd had a rib broken. I couldn't even breathe without extreme pain. And so I was about ready to go to immediate care when I thought about the probe. And so I got the probe out and I put it over that area, and within seconds, the pain started going down. And then within 5 minutes, it was 90% gone. And next morning, I had 0 pain, all gone. And I must have really torn a muscle severely, and yet it was gone with just 5 minutes. So that really convinced me that what this does is it helps your body recreate cells. And when you recreate cells, then you can heal anywhere.
When Dr. Oz did his show, I was like, oh my gosh, I want to get one. I was so excited. And I tried to Google and figure out how to get it. And it was really hard at first to figure out where to get them. And I finally found Diane. And I called her up and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. And I told her everything that I knew and I'd heard and I'd read. and started sharing stories with her, and we went in to see it to try it for my husband. But he has a spot in his back that always hurt. So when we went in to try it with Diane, my husband tried it, and when he got up, that spot in his back was gone. And he was like, "Wow, it's gone," and that's never normally gone except for with the manipulation of this one osteopath. And a week later, for the whole week, it stayed gone. So for an entire week, and it ended up coming back. We ended up having to make this a regular, thing for him. But for an entire week, the spot that even some of the best osteopaths and chiropractors couldn't get rid of was finally gone.
One of the first analogies I heard was with this chronic pain thing, it's like taking a hairdryer to a big block of ice. And if you keep going and keep going, I believe from everything that we've seen that you can melt this problem. Maybe not away, but you can get a much smaller block of ice that makes your pain more manageable.